Okay, so just a second. Just a second, just a second. Yeah, వస్తున్నా. Right. So hope my voice is clear and also it's audible to you. How are you all, first of all?
All good, sir.
Oh, okay.
How are you? How are you all, first of all?
So, okay.
Not okay.
Good, sir.
Okay. Right, right. So in
So how
this,
are you? How is your leg now?
okay, doing good and walking, able to walk. Not for a long time, but able to walk. And I think I will be normal after 2 3 months. It will take 2 3 months more. That's okay. When I compare with the previous things, now I'm able to walk for some distance. I can do my own things. Anyway, so is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can see that some writing, right? I mean, I'm writing on the screen. Is it visible to you?
No, sir. Uh, so there's an article, but no writing is there.
Just a second there. Okay, just give me a second. I will just confirm. right? So, so in our last session, we discussed some of the important current affairs, and we will continue to discuss more. Now, is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this article explains about Navy Chiefs Quad Malabar exercise. This article maybe we discussed in our last session. However, I just want to give you a clarification that this article need some comprehensive understanding, because when we see our Indian location exactly, so it all comes here, this region particularly in a rough diagram, this region particularly witnessing lot of changes, because on the one side near the Hambantota port, we are witnessing the rise of Sri Lanka and Chinese nexus. It can be evident from the fact that recently we have Wang Yang 6, a surveillance ship came to here. So this Wang Yang ship and everything is also quite important for us. Further, it is also witnessing new developments, particularly these regions like Maldives we have. Maldives also witnessing new developments. New developments that Chinese presence is rising. So to counter India, China started a typical program called as string of pearls. Maybe it is glorified by media, but the official thing is it is conducting. So China is doing this string of pearls exercise, namely to counter India. All right. So we understood that string of pearls is a campaign against the India. That is one reason. Number two, China itself showing a lot of aggression near the South China Sea. Well, if I am dealing with international relations, definitely I will help you in a better manner. But as I'm dealing current affairs section, I will give you only a brief clarity. So South China Sea, which is a issue talking about Chinese aggression. Here there is a point called as nine dash line. Again, I will give you a brief about this only, because but to explain you what is nine dash line, it may take me 20 minutes more. So nine dash line in brief manner I can say it is an imaginary line brought by China as per its historical claims. As per its historical claims. So as per its historical claims, it is demanding that this nine dash line belongs to them. So one, India witnessed a string of perils. Two, Chinese South China Sea, South China policy, nine dash line. And three, and the most important one is China brought two important laws in this region, South China Sea region. The two laws are one, maritime maritime law of China 2021. Two is Coast Guard law. Maritime law 2021 and Coast Guard law of 2021. So maritime law of 2021 talks about one important thing, that is any country which is entering into South China Sea, any country which is entering into South China Sea must take, any country which is entering into South China Sea with, particularly with nuclear, with nuclear, with nuclear or any hazardous materials. I repeat again, if any country entering into South China Sea with nuclear or hazardous materials, and that particular country has to take permission from China. has to take permission from China. Is it clear? So they must take permission from China. So try to understand here. That is one. That is one. It says that South China Sea policy is clear. Second thing is India even facing some issue. Okay. Apart from that, apart from that, it also mentioned that China is controlling the region. Plus, it even mentioned about a new laws brought by the China. New laws brought by the China. Now, what is further interesting is not only China, even other countries in the region also now under threat. So this region now witnessing this challenge. Apart from that, there are there are new there are new threats like non-conventional threats. Non-conventional threats. Okay, what do you mean by non-conventional threats? Non-conventional threats talks about one important thing. That is, first of all, let me explain about threat. A threat here implies some imminent danger, or you can say some kind of problem to the person or anything. In international relations, threats are classified into two factors. One is conventional threats. The second one is non-conventional threats. So the word convention applies traditional threats. Non-conventional means new threats. Okay. Now, what is important for us is in today's world we are witnessing rise of non-conventional threats. Rise of non-conventional threats. Okay. So non-conventional threats, can you define me, sir? Non-conventional threats are which includes smuggling, which includes smuggling, it includes terrorism, piracy, not movie piracy, Pirates of Caribbean. Okay. So taking over the other ships and looting the ships. Piracy, smuggling, terrorism, piracy, and also trafficking. And also trafficking. Okay. And also trafficking. Now, at that point of time, what is the exact situation? So one side we have threats from China, clear. Other side we have these threats. To counter these challenges, now we have a group called as, now we have a group, an exercise called as Malabar. An exercise called as Malabar. So the article may be directly talking about Malabar exercise. Okay. Now, what is important is we have to understand this background. Is it clear about the background?
Yes, sir.
Now, at this point of time, what is Malabar exercise and what are the main features of it? See, Malabar exercise is one of the oldest exercises with India by USA. However, in 2015 we have Japan, in 2019 we have Australia, and right now these four countries along with India having Malabar. This year Malabar going to happen in Japan. Additionally, this year India conducted Indo-Pacific Expedium 2022, Indo-Pacific Expedium 2022 in Visakhapatnam, which is also an important development for all of us in international relations point of view. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So this article has to be understood from the background itself. So I guess it is clear to you all very beautifully. So now, in continuation to our discussion, we need to discuss about another important development in the recent issues, that is the development regarding this so called, just a second. Okay, so the development regarding stubble burning. So we are witnessing several articles about stubble burning, several writings about stubble burning. But unfortunately, I mean, very interestingly, I found one important article which talks about which talks about why we are unable to tackle stubble burning. Okay, the whole article gives us a new outlook on stubble burning issue. The whole article provides a new outlook how to tackle the stubble burning, where we failed stubble burning, that was clearly explained by the article. Okay, now for our convenience, we will just take a recap on what happened in what is happening exactly in India right now. Okay, so it is well known that have we discussed this article previously?
Sir, which one? About the stable bonding?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Have we discussed it completely?
Uh, no, sir. I think not completely. Like you have not talked about the recent data about like pellet formation and all.
Okay, I discussed only about pellet formation, right?
No, sir. No.
Okay then. So, so I haven't discussed it completely. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, no issue. So we will try to understand this stubble burning topic now itself in a greater manner. So first and foremost, it is well noted fact that the farmers in the region of Haryana and Punjab, mostly they will go for stubble burning, and that is well known fact and even well recognized by most of the Indians also. However, this stubble burning is not at all a new thing, because stubble burning existed. Just a second. Right. So stubble burning existed even couple of years back onwards. In fact, I can say, okay. So where it exactly started. So let me tell you that let me tell you that farmers in Punjab and Haryana region, farmers in Punjab and Haryana region, they used to burn this stubble. They had the habit of burning the stubble. Usually, they used to start in the month of April, and by September they used to complete this harvesting, and September they used to burn the crop. Fine. So, in our previous discussion, we came to know that these two governments brought a law that is Water Subsoil Water Conservation Act, and because of this law, now this harvesting postponed to October. And during the month of October, you don't find high winds in the Delhi region. So whatever they are burning, it is staying there. So this is what we understood in our previous session. We also understood some important suggestions also. But what I found is there was an interesting article talks about institutional failure in tackling stubble burning. Quite interesting points are there. So others highlighted very interesting points. To begin with, Water Pollution Act and Air Pollution Prevention and Control Act created some institutions. In fact, Water Pollution Act created some institutions, that is Central Pollution Control Board. After the Water Pollution Act, Water Pollution Prevention and Mitigation Monitoring and Regulation Act, we have Air Pollution Act. So the duties to the CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, now even extended to this Air Pollution Prevention and Control Act also. So in our prelims point of view, the expected question statement can be, which of the following act created this CPCB? It is Water Pollution Act. You know, most of the times people will say, as a CPCB associated with air pollution controlling measures, it may be created by Air Pollution Act, but no, it was established by Water Pollution Act. Is it clear? Hope you are clear
Yes,
now.
sir.
Fine. So
Yes, sir.
at this point of time, authors explained that this CPCB even have a local bodies at the state pollution control boards, even district pollution control boards. Institutionally, these are a major failures because CPCBs and even state pollution control boards and even district pollution control boards never existed in reality manner, never existed on the expected lines. Okay, so let us come and check easily here what happened exactly. Let us check why we failed here. Okay, so now let us check here. Here the first and foremost one is, institutionally every pollution control board should have a chairman, and this chairman should have a secure term, but on reality they are having very less tenures. For example, Chhattisgarh chairman had 18 days. In Haryana, the chairman stayed for 20 days. Okay, I'm talking about state level boards. Understand here. So the chairmans should have a longer time so that they can sit together, they can have plannings together. But most of the times they are having very less time. So in reality, it is missing. Second thing, every pollution control board should have members, and and should have experts in environment, industry, experts in pollution control. Okay, they should have members from environment, industries, pollution control. And here the reality is, most of the times the members whoever appointed here, they are the members taken from local government industries or private industries. Now tell me, these are the industries which are responsible for pollution, right? So how they can how they can do that? How they can do that? So that is the major problem here. The major problem is the members, and there should be experts. But these are experts are not experts nowhere in the boards. Second thing, they are not even having sufficient members also. Members are taken from local industries, and there is a conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is one topic in ethics also. So what is conflict of interest is, there may be some ethical dimensions here. That is, you may have. So let me tell you what is conflict of interest here. So conflict of interest explains that that is a situation in which your interest may be affected. So the situation in which your interest may be affected. Okay, the situation in which your interest, your core interest, your individual interest may be affected. So that represents that you may be incapable to take the decision, because the person who is taking, the person who is in the business, the person who is in the authority, the person who is in the decision making body, his interest may be affected. Okay, let us take an example here. What is conflict of interest? You are the HR of a company. Now, two persons came. One person having full capacity, he is an unknown person to you. One person having less capacity, he is a known person to you. Okay, who is a relative to you. So obviously, your core interest may be affected. So that is conflict of interest. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So conflict of interest includes your core interest. For example, you are the bank manager. You want to give loan of 10 lakhs, and two people approach you. One is me, one is other person. But you know very well in your heart I'm having a separate place. In your heart, even in your life, I'm having a separate recognition. Of course, I'm lying here. Don't believe. So you may feel that okay, Kalyan sir is somewhat very good person. He's known to me, so I would like to give loan to him. Let us say you imagine like that. In reality, you won't do. I know that. But obviously, that's the other person who has the capability, but he is not getting the loan. That is conflict of interest. Now, obviously, that is what happening in these bodies. Further, further, the budgetary allocations by the state governments is very, very low. The budgetary allocations are very, very low, and awareness campaigns by these bodies is also very, very low, inadequate. And last but not least, all these bodies doesn't have long-term plans, doesn't have long-term visions. Whatever decisions they are taking, they are ad hoc in manner. Ad hoc means temporary in manner. Long-term visions are missing. So in our previous discussion, we had a discussion about Niti Aayog suggestions. That is, Ramesh Chand suggested that it can be converted into pellets, and also farmers can go for the biogas, and also we can also follow Suket model. And I also mentioned you that even farm produce organization can be act as a banks. But to add to our notes, it is a wonderful points, because we cannot blame only farmers, we cannot blame only. For example, you see Delhi government, Kejriwal sir, he criticized Punjab is the reason. No, Punjab doing it from centuries ago onwards, but we are unable to mitigate it. See, one thing is clear. Today, challenges are very common. Let us say challenges are inevitable. No, God will stop. In fact, God is going to create challenges for us. So, how we are tackling? Because every year we are getting the same problem, but still we are unable to deal. So, I told you that cess amount is there. We have to spend on happy spend. So, there are a lot of suggestions we can do. So, these are the suggestions. Later, even I found one of the recent article also. Kerala Kerala is ready to buy fodder or or you can say rice straws from Punjab. This is also an interesting suggestion. That is the fodder rich states. Fodder rich states now exporting the fodder to the fodder deficit states. Fodder deficit states. So instead of burning, they can sell it to the other states. They can sell it to the other states, and that is the argument put forward by the Kerala itself. So is it clear?
So are you presenting any screen?
I'm writing here. You are unable to see it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you are not able to see it. It's interesting. Now,
No, sir,
No,
it is
sir.
not visible.
No, sir.
since when it is not visible?
No, sir, it's not visible.
No, sir.
No, since when it is not visible? From longer time?
From Kerala topic.
From
Couple of
Kerala.
minutes.
Okay, is it clear? Is it visible to you now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, just a second then. Now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay then. Fine. So Kerala, we can buy it, right? We can, the rich, further rich states can sell to the deficit states. So that is where we can suggest this. So all these points are very wonderful points to our answer. So for our practice, we will write one more question. Thanks to Kaushal and Nargis, they wrote answer and I even suggested them. So Kaushal asked me that how to write effective. Kaushal, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there.
Okay. So how to write conclusion and how to write intro? Give me an outlook about it, sir. So I want to address that question in this session itself. So let us take one more question. The question says that, so discuss the impacts of stubble burning and suggest some long lasting measures. Discuss the impacts of stubble burning and suggest some long lasting measures. Okay. So I hope you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir,
Yes
it
or
is
no?
visible.
Okay, fine. So that is what the story about. So impacts of stubble burning. I haven't discussed with you. You can write on your own. I discussed only about measures. Go ahead with the measures. Now, coming back to our Kaushal doubt, how to write effective conclusions and intro, or you can say intros. Now, most of the aspirants will face the situation because our toppers will say right from the day one onwards. What to write? Write whatever you want. That is become the answer writing. Okay, they are the people who are misguiding the people. Try to understand. You are now aware about stubble burning measures. You will work out on the impacts. Then you will write the content. But intro and conclusion, how to prepare, sir? That is common. Most of the people ask me same question. Now, I would like to tell you these points. The question, the given question is the hint for writing intro and conclusion. Hint for writing intro and conclusion. Let us say one example here. Discuss the impacts of stubble burning. So now we can say, we can start this question by writing what is stubble burning? What is stubble burning? Let us say if it is, let us say 250 marks question. Of course, it is also 250 marks, 250 words question and 20 marks, let us say. Now here you can all start by saying, let us say 2 or 3, mean mostly 2 or 3. You can stop with the two lines itself. 2 lines. It is not universal, please. It is not universal. You should not follow it for every question. Okay. Give a 2 or 3 lines general statement about the stubble burning. Then immediately start writing impacts of stubble burning in a separate heading. So let us take here. So stubble burning, I write some lines. Then impacts of stubble burning, I write here and underline it like this. Then I write point 1, point 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I went to write measures against the stubble burning, underline it. Then I'm going to write everything. Then coming to the conclusion point, how to write conclusion again. Again coming to the question. Discuss the impacts of stubble burning measures. The above mentioned are the measures against the stubble burning and impacts of, let us say, the above mentioned are the impacts of stubble burning and also measures against the stubble burning. So stubble burning should be tackled by the governments by involving people's participation. Done. So the question should guide you regarding conclusion and intro. Content part you have to work out on it. Am I clear, Kaushal and other people?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So don't hurry to write conclusions. Don't hurry to learn conclusion. Some people is even following a new trend. That is, whenever they are reading some articles in Hindu newspaper, if the conclusion is good, they are taking it. For example, there is a article saying that pollution need solution, not discussion. So you can also use them. So as like that, you can write night questions also. Right, answer also based on that. Okay. So that is how you can also work out on it. But that is evolution process. It will comes by practice itself. Now, moving further, we have a recent update from the we have a recent update from the judiciary, that is appointment of D.Y. Chandrachud as a new CJI. Okay, so in this point of time, I would like to clarify you two important things. One is how this appointment will happen. How this appointment will happen. We already discussed this in one of our previous current affairs session. If you recall, I discussed about appointment of judges. First judge's case, second judge's case, third judge's case. How many of you are able to recall it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So just check out your old notes. So I will just give you a recap about these cases. So first and foremost, first judge's case, 1981. It is also called as S.P. Gupta case. First of all, for those who are unable to understand why it is this S.P. Gupta case, we should understand the background here. The background says Article 124, Clause 2 of Indian Constitution, in Chapter 5 of Indian Constitution, mentioned that every Supreme Court judge will be appointed by President. And here, Article 75 of Indian Constitution clearly states that President will work as per the aid and advice. So, as per B.R. Ambedkar votes, I can say President of India doesn't have any responsibilities, only functions. So, he has to work as per aid and advice of Council of Ministers. So, even though appointment may be done by the President, it is the Council of Ministers who will guide them. In particular, the Law Ministry will guide them. So now, generally the process is Supreme Court usually assigns some names to the Law Ministry. Then Law Ministry will reach the Council of Ministers, and Council of Ministers will reach the President. I think it's confusing you. So generally, Supreme Court will reach the Law Ministry. Law Ministry will reach the Prime Minister, and then it will reach to the Council of Ministers. This is usually happens. Now the doubt is, uh, the doubt is who will have primacy. So who will have primacy? That is, who will have higher voice. So in this case, to decide who will have primacy, Supreme Court of India said executive have the primacy. So primacy will be the executive. No other people have the executive authority here. We discussed even in our previous session also. In this case, this judgment, S.P. Gupta judgment, the first judge's case judgment, the first judge's case or S.P. Gupta judgment, again reviewed by Supreme Court in Advocates on Records Association case, 1991. Advocates, 1992, Advocates on Record Association case. And this case, Supreme Court said, no. Primacy will be with the court itself. And Supreme Court even used the word Coliseum. Fine. So, Advocates on Record Association. For your clarity, sir, what is this process is called about? This is called a judicial review. Sir, from which country we brought it? United States of America. So judicial review we brought from United States of America. Sir, can you give me a clarity on which articles talks about judicial review? Article 13 of Indian Constitution talks about judicial review. Okay, Article 13 of Indian Constitution talks about judicial review. Okay. Further, this was also mentioned. This is also mentioned in other articles also. Okay, in other articles also we do have this judicial. Just a second. Hello, agenda. Ada, mali call cheyna. Mali call cheyna. Okay, So Article 136 of Indian Constitution talks about judicial review on high court cases, district court cases, right? So or any other rules. So it is called as special leave petition. So judicial review as per Article 136 is called as special leave petition. Okay. Then Article 137 says that Supreme Court of India cases can be even get further review. So under Article 137, we can say that even judgments given by the Supreme Court even subject for review. Now, I hope you got clarity on judicial review topic. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you have this judicial review, judicial encroachment, judicial activism, lot of things are there, but that is come for next level of discussion. If we are dealing with polity, we can have an idea. So it is in polity, so I'm not teaching there. So now coming to the point, as per this rules, as per this review, that Supreme Court of India now got a case, and this case decided that primacy will be the Supreme Court, and there is a collision now. Now there was a doubt in the mind of K.R. Narayan, because this collision says that there will be senior judges, 2 senior judges plus 1 Supreme CJI. So K.R. Narayan, the first Dalit president of India, got a doubt in 1998. The doubt is, if these 2 people says someone and this people says someone, let us say AB, whom I can appoint. So the doubt is like this. You know very well that Supreme Court, whenever President of India had a doubt on legal issues, he can directly knock the door of Supreme Court by Article 143. By Article 143. So he has this advisory jurisdiction. So he can directly say, I love you. I mean, not I love you. He can directly say, so what is the case there? Okay. Not I love you. Wait. So he can directly ask the court. So that is where you can, what I can do when this situation came. So then Supreme Court changed the concept. So in the third judge's case, it said that there will be a collegium. The collegium concept of change, now it will consist of 4 senior most judges plus 1 CJI. 1 CJI, and there you have this new process called as this collegium, and this will appoint, and they will take decisions on the majority basis. That's they took the decision, and we have a CJI called as Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. Very important person. I think in the last 10 CJS, he is very special for me. Not because of me, because he has a techno judiciary person. That is, he is a person, the mastermind behind the E committee. The mastermind behind the E committee of Supreme Court. Very passionate lawyer, judge. So who demanded this E-courts concept? Let us wait and watch for the next developments, because even we are last session, can you remember we discussed about positives of live streaming? Have you recalled that discussion?
Yes, sir.
So I request you that I even finished that. What are the challenges of collision system? Please check your notes now. Challenges of collision system. I finished this topic, and also suggested measures for the effective function of collision system. Those who attended the sessions, you can recall. So you can check your notes, or else check your recordings also, because this is an important area. And second important area, now I'm going to discuss this. There is an article saying that there should be a rise. India should rise the age of the judges. So the second important discussion I'm going to start on this article, that is whether to rise the judges' age in India. Right? So is it clear about appointment of judges?
Sir, what
Yes,
was
sir.
the question? Challenges of
Yeah, challenges in collision system, challenges in coliseum system, challenges in coliseum system, challenges in coliseum system, challenges in collision system, and also talks about the measures, the measures. I discussed, my dears. Just check your old recordings. I cannot remember the exact date. If someone knows it, please inform me the date. But I strongly believe I checked it. I discussed it like anything. Okay. So check out your notes and write an answer for it. Any idea? Check out once. Okay. Without wasting time, I'm going further. So now I'm going to discuss the next important interesting topic: need for rising age of the judges. Age of the judges. So why it is needed to rise the age of judges? Not because of Kalyan's discussion. Okay. Not because of my discussion, please. It is a wonderful, just a second. It is a demand even by many important scholars. So, first of all, sir, why it is important? Why it is needed? Can you explain me, sir? Obviously, my dears. If you take judges population in India, if you take judges population in India, it is 19.66 judges for 10 lakh people in India. 19.66 judges for 10 lakhs people in India. However, if you compare this in United Kingdom, there are 107 judges per 10 lakh people. If you take US, there are 51 judges per 10 lakh people. So it is not even 20. Okay, it is less than 20. So what I can tell you is, law commissions stated that our judges to people's population is very low. So there are less number of judges. So here, if you take again some developed countries, USA said, USA and even Austria, their judges can continue lifetime. Lifetime service they can provide. If you take UK, they are 70 years. Even Germany also following 70 years. France also mostly 70 years. So they are following 70 years. Then what is the position of India? What is the position of India? For India follows, for Supreme Court, it is
63.
bolo bolo. 65. For High Court, it is 62. Now, okay, sir, India is a great nation. We won't follow this only. What will happen? Nothing will happen for you and me. Okay, nothing will happen for you and me. Things will happen for justice. According to 2018 National Judiciary Data Grid, 3.84 crores cases pending in India. Okay, National Vidhi Law Center, National Vidhi Law Center, a kind of social group, community group, Vidhi Law Center. So Vidhi Law Center mentioned that because of COVID, we may cross above 4 lakhs. Above 4 lakhs. Sorry, 4 crores. Above 4 crores. Now, official data is not yet come, but we can believe that above 4 crores. Now, to counter this rise, so what we can do? What we can do? Sir, increase the ages of judges. Now, by saying that we cannot get marks, because we have to say as a scholarly manner. So, what is the scholar manner? That is according to Parliamentary Standing Committee. That is, age of the judges should be raised. Not happy? According to National Commission on Review of Working Constitution, or also called as Venkatachalaya Commission, we should raise the age of the judges. So these two people demanding rising the age of the judges because to reduce the pendency of the cases. To reduce the pendency of the cases. So in news article we found this article, and we revised appointment of judges as per the part 5 of Indian Constitution 124. We know the process. We came to know the process how this collegium evolved. Tell me, is collegium is constitutionally directed one, or it evolved later of the constitution?
So
Is
it was later
collegium
evolved.
exactly correct? Evolved after 3 judges cases. So tell me, in which judge case collegium word for the first time mentioned by the Supreme Court?
So second just case.
Exactly correct. Second judge's case. Now, coming to the point, we understood the process here. Then we understood what is the need for rising age of the judges because of all these statistics. Is it clear, my dears?
Yes,
Or
sir.
any right? So tell me, which schedule of Indian Constitution talks about appointment of judges? Which schedule of Indian Constitution talks about? Sorry, oath of the judges or prime minister. Which schedule of Indian Constitution discuss about oath of the judges or prime minister? Yes, please. Hey, yarappa.
Sir, can you repeat the question once again, please?
Absolutely, Swati. I will repeat it. Okay, I am saying that which schedule of Indian Constitution discuss about oath and affirmations? Don't search in Google. Hey, okay, not you, Swati. Okay, I'm talking about other people. Joey should not do that. Okay, come on,
Sir, can you please again repeat the question?
yarappa. Ain't repeat చేసేది. Repeat. Okay, Abdul, right?
Abul Kalam.
Okay, Abul Kalam. Okay, Abul Kalam. Uh, which schedule of Indian Constitution describes about oath? Schedule 3 of Indian Constitution.
Sir, 3, huh?
Shekhar. Shekhar. Very good,
Third.
Shekhar. Schedule 3. Schedule 3rd of Indian Constitution discuss about it. Whether you say my Narendra Damodar Das Modi, or whether I say YS Jagat Mohan Reddy or Nenu, whether you say Justice Kaushal Kumar, okay, anyone. So who you have to follow the oath given in the third schedule of Indian Constitution. Remember oath, and it is talking about third schedule. THIRDOATH. You can remember like that for mnemonics part. Clear? Babu Shona. Is it clear, Babu Shona? Okay. Tell me, Babu Shona, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So it is Babu Shona for men. What will for girls? Baby Shona? Not Baby Shona, yes.
So Babu and Shona
So it's
itself
only
are for uh,
no. It's only Shona for girls.
So came our Shona. Joey Shona. It's only Shona. Okay. So what exactly Shona means? Gold, right?
Yes, sir.
yes.
Okay. What do we call Telugu? In Telugu, it is Bangaram. Okay. Anyone can repeat?
Bangaram.
So Bangaram.
Bangaram. Is it a bad word in Bengali? No, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, so that is Babu, Shona, and Bangaram. What a matching it is. Okay, it's Babu, Shona, it's Bangaram. Anyway, coming to the point, that's talking about Bangaram. Now we are going to discuss about one Bangaram in India. Okay, that Bangaram is not Kalyan. Okay, that Bangaram is a wonderful constitutional position. Okay, we will get a little bored. We will change the topic, not constitutions. We will take one interesting topic, which is even very interesting also. So the topic is uh, just a second, just a second. Okay, so the talks about uh, in India. In India, of course, we have diversified cultures. Of course, you do people follow culture a lot. I know very well. Culture means on Mother's Day and Father's Day, we remember them and we will start working on it. But now, what is interesting is I'm not going to talk about that culture. I'm talking about one culture in India which is eradicating, which is also reducing also. That culture is an art, an artistic, an artistic form, nautical form. It is artistic performance called as Tolu Bomma Lata. What is that? I repeat again. Tolu Bomma Lata. These are some South Indian names you have to remember. For example, you see, today we are talking about Kollam. Entire India talking about Kollam. No, how many of available Kollam word? Entire India is talking because of one movie. What is that movie? Yo. No idea? Hey, is my screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then it's okay. Then it's okay. Bolo bolo. Have you ever heard about Kollam recently? In news, in TVs, in Instagram, somewhere else? Yes or no? Sida bolo. Okay, don't waste my time.
No, no, sir.
No,
Uh,
sir.
have you heard about the word Kantara?
Yes, sir.
That is the Kollam. Kollam.
It's a movie name Kantara.
Wow! Like that the movie goes. Okay, don't fear. Okay, so don't get fear there. The movie goes with the same story. Wow! Okay, so it is a mystic sound made by local deities. So the sound is very famous in the region. Even in our region also we have similar kind of practices. We call it as Punakam. What is that? Not Ponam Kaur. It is Punakam. Okay. So can anyone repeat that?
Punakam.
Swati, correct. Okay, it's Punakam. Not Vanakkam. Vanakkam means Namaste. It's Punakam. Anyway, we should not go that. Can you tell me? I will tell you what exactly happens this time. Some people, whoever in the puja, whoever in bhajan or sankirtan, they believe that they will behave as abnormally. They will dance, they will shout, they will speak something about our future, they will give predictions. That is Punakam. What is the what can you see in Bengal also? I guess you see in Ma Kali temples. It is common in every Durga temples. Have you ever heard about this practice? Some
Yes, sir.
people will some people act immediately like God. They will behave like abnormally. They will shout. They will dance.
Right, sir. Yes, sir.
बोलो वो क्या है वो what is the word exactly you will use?
In Hindi, sometimes we say
Bhora, sir.
in
Sir,
अच्छा
in
बोलो
Bengal it is called Bhora, sir, I guess. Bhor, yeah.
tell slowly bho
Sir, Bhor.
or
Bhor. BHOR, like that.
okay. Very difficult to say. Okay. So uh, anyway, so you are aware, right? You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is a very important tradition. However, I just want to add something to our discussion here. This Tolu Bombalata is not associated with that. Okay. This Tolu Bombalata is completely different and it is why I brought is, so this Tolu Bommalata includes a leather puppetry show. A leather puppetry show. Okay. So in our arts and culture, we have to learn about shadow puppetry, leather puppetry. So it comes under shadow puppetry here. I'm sorry for that. It comes under shadow puppetry art. So they will bring these items, okay, leather puppetry items, and they will start doing this behind the screen. There will be a screen here, and behind the screen, they will show some characteristics. Mostly Rama and Mahabharata they used to play. So if there is a question saying that matching Tolu Bommalata, state of Andhra Pradesh, next Togalu Gobiatta, Togalu Gobiatta from Karnataka. Okay, so both are more or less same, but the names are a bit different. So if it is Gobiatta, it is Karnataka. Bommalata, it is South India. But they don't confuse you, because even people of North India will confuse a lot. So most importantly, if it is Tolu Bommalata, it is Andhra Pradesh. Togalu Gobiatta, it is from Karnataka. Clear? Clear? Will you remember it? For the sake of exam, don't remember for my sake. For the sake of the exam, please remember it.
So both of them are shadow puppetry show.
Yes. Both of them are shadow puppetry.
So please repeat the second one.
Togalu, T-O-G-G, Togalu, T-O-G-G-A-L-U, Togalu, Gombiyatta, Gombeyatta, Gombeyatta, Togalu, Gombiyatta. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So next article talks about, this is not an important article. In fact, there is nothing here also to discuss or to write anything. But I want to say these articles are quite important in writing value addition for our answers. Can you explain me further, sir? I will definitely explain you. How these articles are useful for value addition. Understand here, whenever you are finding this kind of articles, maybe in your local issues also, these are some interesting articles which help us a lot in making our answer different from others. For example, when I'm correcting answers of different students, I used to found that some students, not some students, out of 100 students, 80 students will write same, not from one place. They are from different countries. Because, but why they are writing same? Because they are preparing from same sources, either Drishti or Vision or else something else. They're not finding any individual nature in preparation. And here is some important thing here. So these articles, this kind of articles, particularly useful whenever there is a question about threats for biodiversity or effects of developmental projects, threats to forest, or effects of economic development. We can use this article. Of course, not only this Narmada Bachavo, Beti Bachavo, not Beti Bachavo, please. Narmada Bachavo, you can use that also. Now, what is this article talks about? This article says that now Government of India gave permission for a project which is affecting diverting 130 square kilometers forest area. Okay, so we can write, if there is a question talks about effects of biodiversity, effects or threats to the biodiversity, you can write that. One point you can write that economic developmental projects affects biodiversity. Example, recently Government of India gave permission to project in Andaman Nicobar. Government of India gave permission to project in Andaman Nicobar, which is diverting 130 square kilometers forest area. Okay, now you are attracting attention that yes, this is correct, right? So this is how you have to work out. Is it clear? Only one point we can write, that too for only answer writing. For geography point of view, you have to locate this region called as Great Nicobar. Location of Great Nicobar. Is it? Will you do that?
Sir,
Yes,
can
sir.
you, sir, can you read this line again?
Obviously, economic developmental projects affect the biodiversity. That is one point I wrote. How it will affect the biodiversity. Example, recently government of India announced a project in Andaman Nicobar which aims to divert 130 square kilometers of forest area. 130 square kilometers of forest area. Clear, my dear? I don't know who is that.
Yes, sir.
I guess Swati. Okay, fine. So next important article, next important current affair issue. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. 1 minute, please. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, next important article. Next important article we are going to see. So just a second, it is uploading. Right. So next important article, which was in news, and which is also important, is a judgment given by Supreme Court of India in Jan Hit Abhiyan, versus Union of India in 2022 November. Jan Hit Abhiyan versus Union of India 2022 November. I guess I even made a video on it. I guess it is uploading to your YouTube channel also. Have a view on it so that you can get a better clarity. But for our convenience, we will try to understand this whole EWS reservation topic in our UPSC point of view. At the same time, we will also see from the interview point of view also. Because in prelims, I'm not expecting a direct question, but in mains and in interview, we can expect the questions on this aspect. Okay. So first and foremost, the most important element we have to understand is 1946 December 9th, when Constitutional Assembly started to discuss about the way for the Constitutional Assembly, the way for the India after independence. There is a concept called as affirmative actions. Is my voice is clear and audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Constitutional Assembly brought this concept of affirmative actions. What exactly affirmative actions are meant? Affirmative actions are meant for creating some provisions for socially backward people. Okay. So the purest ambition is to create reservations. For socially backward people. Okay. So this is aims to correct historical injustices. Okay. So as I told you, affirmative actions are those the idea is they want to create special provisions. For whom? Not for all. Socially backward people who are historically getting injustices in their life. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
I need more S. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is Brahmins, this is Kshatriyas, this is Vaishyas, and this is Shudras, and of course you have Panchamas. And these people, it is a layered society. You will be considered as a wrong if you consider this is exist only in India. Never imagine like that. This even exists in other countries also. That is, every society, according to Thomas Piketty, Capital and Ideology book, okay, he's a famous scholar. So he said that every society has inequalities. Every society. Based on some notions. For example, you see a French society, you have first estate, second estate, and third estate. Let us take British society. You have the rich nobles, rich priest, and common man. So wherever you go, you will find only three classifications. One is religious, one is economical, one is political classification. It is common everywhere. But people will say caste is limited to only India. Right, sir? Caste is different from Varna. Varna is different from Jati. Okay. So Jati is more or less represented by caste. So this is not equal. Now, I'm going deep into the other subject, but coming to our subject, that is affirmative actions are there, and these affirmative actions are nothing but provisions for the socially backwardness and to correct the historical injustices. Everyone said wonderful option, we will go ahead with that. So in 1970s, similar kind of concept even brought by Justice Rawle. Justice Rawle theory. This is the concept which you will use in ethics. Okay, theory of justice. Justice Rawle brought theory of justice. There is a chapter called as famous ethical thinkers, and where you will read about this person, Justice Rawls, again. Now, who is Justice Rawls is about? He is an American jurist member, American scholar, a political science scholar, and he brought a new idea here. The new idea is the concept of the concept of differential treatment. The concept of differential treatment. The concept of differential treatment. So what is this concept of differential treatment is about? It talks like this. That is, it is justified to give inequalities to create, sorry, it is justified to create inequalities. It is justified to create inequalities if it is in the interest of least developed sections of the society. Least developed sections of the society. I repeat again, it is justified to create inequalities if it is in the interest of least developed society. If it is in the interest of least developed society, can I repeat again? Differential treatment. It says that justified to create inequalities if it is in the interest of least developed sections of the society. Go back to our affirmative actions, to provisions for the socially backward people, to correct the historical injustices. That is, people who are the least sections, let us say, they are affected and they were now given some provisions. So Justice Rawle theory is what mentioned in 1970s, Indian Constitution implemented in 1946. Understood? So that's the reason our Constitution is considered to be one of the greatest Constitution. Okay, it even created a lot of, it even imagined a lot of changes in the society. Is it clear? The concept of affirmative actions, the concept of Justice Rawle theory.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, very good. So now let us move further. So on this aspect, it is very important. It is very important for all of us to understand the issues of provisions. I'm not using the word reservations because it's not mentioned in Constitution. The provisions for the affirmative actions were placed in 16 clause 4 of Indian Constitution. Okay, and later because of first amendment we have 15.4 of Indian Constitution. Maybe your polity faculty will deals with this first amendment. Okay, as I'm not teaching polity, I'm not discussing with you. Now you may have doubt for world history. I said I'm not dealing world history. For polity, I said I'm not dealing Polity for society, I'm not doing society. How many subjects I will teach? Okay. So I will teach international relations, polity, world history, governance, Indian history, society, then internal security, disaster management, internal security, disaster management. Last but not least, I even teach this topic called as this essay writing also. Okay. So IR, world history, polity, governance, internal security, disaster management, essay writing, and also these sections. Okay. Indian history and even society also. So these are the topics I can teach very well, very happily. Okay. So this is because you should understand one important thing. In teaching current affairs, I have to read all these subjects. Okay. So whenever it is a environment issue, I have to read environment topics. Whenever it is any world history point of view, I have to read world history also. Fine. So this is part of my current affairs system. So like that, I got stability. Not doing overaction, I guess. Okay. Do you think it is overaction? I guess no. Okay. Hey, ఉన్నారా వినిపిస్తుందా? Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
No,
okay.
sir.
Not getting response. I thought you were sleeping or else like it is boring for you. Anyway, coming to the point. So after the first amendment, because of one case, the first amendment was started. You know the uh, okay. My intention to teach is not stopping. It is not possible to stop. So there is a lady called as Champakam Dorairajan. Champakam Dorai Rajan. Name is interesting, right? Even the case is also interesting. So Champakam Dorai Rajan, a Brahmin lady, tried for medical seat. She doesn't get the medical seat, and she got same marks like means she got very better marks, and the person who got the same marks, he or she got the admission, but she was denied in the name of caste. So, in a medical seat, Champakam Dorairajan was denied her medical seat on the basis of caste. Now, immediately she went to Supreme Court. Article 15 of Indian Constitution, Clause 1 says, no discrimination. But why this discrimination for me? Because discrimination is prohibited in the name of caste, gender, religion. But why you are discriminating me? So that was the question raised by Champakam Dorairajan. So on that case, when the case is going on, when the Supreme Court is going to give the judgment, we brought Article 15(4), Clause 4 of Indian Constitution. I recommend you refer to articles today. I'm not explaining you these articles. Please refer them today. Now, after that, there was a question about the 16(4) mentioned that like there should be a special reservations for backward classes, provisions, special provisions for backward classes. Now the question is, what do you mean by backward classes? Who will explain this?
Sorry, economically weaker sections also called.
Exactly, no one exactly knows at that time. So Article 340 of Indian Constitution had some clue. A key is there in Article 240. Said that President will appoint backward commission to investigate matters of backward classes. And there Article 340 says President will appoint a committee to investigate issues of backward classes. So to investigate issues of backward classes, we are having a special commission. and that is Kalelkar Committee. Kalelkar Committee, the first BC commission, but people doesn't implement this because of political considerations. And thanks to second committee, that is the Mandal Committee, and this was implemented by then finance minister, sorry, then prime minister of India. Okay, so now at that time the determination of BC was based on socially, educationally backward people. Even it was mentioned by even Indira Swani case also. Indira Swani case in 1992 also mentioned about same thing. Yes, it is the reservation should be based on socially, educationally, not economically backwardness. Not economically backwardness. Okay, so in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you that affirmative actions talking about providing special provisions. Justice Rall theory talking about inequalities can be justified if they are aiming to provide assistance to the least developed sections. Supreme Court of India, I mean Constitution of India even mentioned about 15.4, 16.4 talking about reservations.
So please
And
repeat this once more.
okay, affirmative actions talks about provisions for the weaker sections. So affirmative actions talking about provisions for the weaker sections. Then Justice Rall theory mentions about, that is, inequalities are justified. Inequalities are justified if they serve the purpose of least developed sections. Next, in Article 15.4 Clause 4, 16.4 Clause 4, there were provisions for the socially backward sections and also SCs and also STs. And then Mandal Commission recommended reservations for the BCs in India, and that too you have that is we have socially, educationally backward people. So this is what happened till 2019. So reservations given for weaker sections, reservations given for people to correct the historical injustices and least developed countries, and provisions and also BCs. Now, when I think 2009 around that time, the government of India at that time, Congress want to bring some reservations. Congress want to bring some reservations to some sections of society. At that time, Supreme Court of India said no, nahi chalega. Now, Supreme Court even suggested that transgenders should get reservations. So, Supreme Court said reservations for new people is not allowed. However, Supreme Court even suggested that reservation should be given for the transgenders. So that is interesting thing. So on one side it said no for the reservation, other side it supported the reservations for new sections. So there is a debate about all these things. Finally in 2019, we have amendment to the Indian Constitution. So in 2019, we have amendment to Indian Constitution. And that amendment is Amendment 103, which added 15(6) and 16(6) of Indian to the Indian Constitution. Added 15(6) and 16(6) of Indian Constitution to the Indian Constitution. Understood? So 15(6) and 16(6) of Indian Constitution, they were added this, and with this they provided 10% of reservations to the economically and weaker sections based on some criteria. Income should be less than 8 lakhs. Income should be less than 8 lakhs. One should not possess more than 1,000 square kilometers house. Like that, there's categories which are important for prelims point of view. Please do read about the categories. What are the eligibility? So economic weaker sections was brought to Indian Constitution, Indian people, by using Article Amendment 103. So Amendment 103 brought this new type of reservations to Indian Constitution. Now, our most important discussion is, this was immediately challenged in Supreme Court. Challenging on the name of, on the question of this article is violation, this amendment is violation of Constitution. This amendment 103 is violation of basic structure of Indian Constitution. So what is basic structure of Indian Constitution? Any idea? I'm not demanding any answer from you, but any idea is there? Have you listened in class?
Yes, sir. Basic structure is basically not defined in the constitution. It is like a fundamental kind of something, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. I'm really happy for your answer. So now the question was investigated by Supreme Court, and finally Supreme Court came at conclusion. The conclusion is 5:2. Sorry, the conclusion is 5 judges are there. It is 3:2. Now, what is this 3 people support? It is supporting that no, they are not against the Constitution. They are not against the Constitution. They are not against the Constitution, and they are, in fact, they are not against the Constitution spirit. Not against Constitution. They are with the Constitution itself. They are with the Constitution itself. So, what are the main points here? So they said that these are part of affirmative actions. Part of affirmative actions. So majority judges said part of affirmative actions. 2, they said, so as a state will do services, on economic parameter. State will do services on economic parameter, that is to fulfill the goals in DPSPs. State will use economic parameter to fulfill the goals in the DPSPs. State is following to fulfill the goals in the DPSPs. State is following this method of economic classification. For example, there is an article. So let us say Article 42 of Indian Constitution. Assistance in some cases, that will be done on the basis of economic consideration itself. Okay, that will be done on the basis of economic consideration itself. Is it clear? So that is important thing for us. Now, what is further important is we have to understand these things very clearly. That is, so this article talks about, this judgment said that it is okay to have reservations. They are part of affirmative actions. Too. They also said that it is permissible. It is permissible under DPSPs. You can do that. You can go for economic classification, not a problem. And these reservations will help the people who are unable to perform in their jobs or in their education sector. it can help the people also. Okay, so this is the majority view. So majority view is they are supporting it. So they believe that this can provide equal opportunities. This can provide further help for the weaker sections within the upper caste. Within the upper caste. Now, within the upper caste. Now, what is the opposition voice? So the two judges opposed this case. Justice U. Lalit and Ravindra Bhatt. Both are important, and Ravindra Bhatt arguments are killing like anything. They are like Ravindra Bhatt arguments are most valid reasons in this case. Of course, he is not getting majority. He didn't get majority. He didn't get majority. He is a person who got a minority voice. Now, how this person thought? Okay, he said he said reservations to the weaker sections is permissible. It is he can do it, not a problem. But there are some issues with the reservations of under Article 103. Article 103 amendment. Article 103 amendment talks about some reservations to the weaker sections as I discussed from last 20 minutes. Okay, there is no problem, there is no confusion here. Now what Ravindra Bhatt said is very simple things. Number one reason he said that these reservations given to the weaker sections in the economically backward people, this is biased one. This is biased one. Okay, this is biased one. So the reservations in 103rd amendment as per the Supreme Court are biased because this act restricting this act restricting SCs, STs, SCs, STs stick towards their own caste, their own criteria, their own criteria, their own criteria. That is, let us say if I belongs to SC or ST group, now I am supposed to get the benefits of only SC and ST reservations given to them. They cannot compete here. Let us say some ST people they don't want to mention their caste and they want to change. So obviously they can change. As for the right to propagation, right to practice of the religion, they can change. However, they cannot change. They cannot change to this economical and weaker sections. That is, SCs and STs can only get the benefits of the socially determined concept of reservations. So Justice Ravindra Bhatt said that that is most of the SCs and STs are confined to one reservation called as this 50 this reservation called as reservation based on affirmative actions. So they are confined to them. They are confined. There is no alternative option for them. They have to work out. They have to die. They have to only live in these reservations. So Justice Ravindra Bhatt mentioned that EWS reservation is restricting the people's choice. Restricting people's choice. First point. Second point he said that is most of the economic weaker sections can be seen in weaker sections. Okay, So economically weaker sections can see this kind of issues. They cannot use this system. They are considered to be weaker sections. So most of them are weaker sections. Here, Justice Ravindra Bhatt said with a committee called as Sino Committee. Sino Committee. So Sino Committee talks about one important thing, that is throughout the India, throughout the India, throughout the India, in their research, they found that most of the below poverty line people exist within SCs, STs, and backward classes. The Sino committee mentioned that weaker sections are visible to see only in these regions. What are the regions? That is, what are the regions? That is, the people who are economically, socially backward, they are the weaker. So, as per this, theory, as per this concept of Sinho committee mentioned that it is not because of they are socially backward, not because of social. Now today's, if you conduct research, you can see that most of them are still backward. So most of them are still backward. So why you should give reservations to only few people? Why you should give reservations to only few people? Okay. So there is a problem, and there is a solution. So the problem is, so why need to think that is it is somewhat people are excluded. So on that note, on that exclusion, you can end these reservations. Okay. So reservations, the concept. I mean, we have to say it is a anti-basis structure. You can remove it. That is the voice of only Ravindra Bhatt. And further, he says that there should be a caution on EWS reservation system. 50% is the idea, but now after implementing this, it is even crossing 50%. Now the simple thing you have to understand that. So why China became so calm, quiet? Sorry, why people are opposing? Why people are opposing it? Why people are supporting it? Because there are some political equations here. The political equations are the parties which oppose they are going to lose votes from EWS reservations. So that is one interesting aspect we can say. So that is how the debate was divided. So one of the
Sir,
most important.
sir, what did you mention about China? I didn't understand.
No. China by mistake I mentioned. Okay. So by mistake it was mentioned. I said that some people are opposing it, some people are supporting it. The most important arguments who are opposing is Justice Ravindra Bhatt votes. That is, it is restricting the people's choice. It is only limiting the people of weaker sections, but real economically weaker sections doesn't exist only in the upper caste. Even they exist in the lower sections also. So don't restrict. It is an exclusionary principle. It is an exclusionary principle because you said wonderful relations. You brought wonderful concept of economic relations, but they are excluding the SCs and STs. Why should you do that? As the SCs and STs are having social economically backward castes, let us restrict them for the confined region, and let us allow only new categories of people to avail this problem, to avail this issue. But that is not exactly correct. They are not economically progress. Okay. And finally, Justice Ravindra Bhatt ended his arguments by quoting B.R. Ambedkar. So B.R. Ambedkar said that reservations are temporary. Reservations are temporary. If we continue to implement these reservations will eat away. These reservations will eat away eat away the equality principle in Indian Constitution. Equality principle in Indian Constitution. Okay. So according to B.R. Ambedkar, reservations are temporary, and if you allow reservations, let us say reservations continuously, it will eat away equality property also. Equality principle of Indian Constitution. Equality principle of Indian Constitution. Okay. So based on our discussion, please try and send me the answers. The question goes like this. That is arguments favor and arguments against.
So,
Argument, yes.
so if a person annual income is not more than 8 lakh, but have the property of thousand square kilometer area, then they will come under EWS or not?
No, they won't come.
Okay. There is need to fulfill all the criteria.
If you violate one criteria, you will have less chances to get. But obviously that will be under the hand of the local administration. You can manage.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So, but you have to fulfill. See, if you are having more, let us say, if you are having more than 10 lakhs salary, but you have home of 5 lakhs, 5 square, let us say 5,000 square kilometers, you are not eligible. You are not eligible. So you have to
No,
balance
so
this.
salary is if salary is less than 8 lakh,
Yeah,
but
I understood.
have the property.
I understood that. That is, you have to
Okay,
follow all. Okay, there
okay,
is
okay.
no. Okay. Now, arguments favor and arguments against. Arguments favor and arguments
And so
against.
occupation also mentioned there, no?
Exactly, exactly. So arguments favor, arguments against economically weaker sections reservations. That is one question. Arguments favor, arguments against the economically weaker section reservations. The second question you can write arguments favor, arguments against reservations itself. Reservations itself. Arguments favor, arguments against reservations itself. Is it clear? Two questions you can try and write. I haven't discussed this question. I discussed this question. Please work out on some extra notes. Is it clear?
So, what is the second question? Argument favor and argument against reservation.
Yes. The concept of reservation itself. So you have to write the concept. You have to write on the concept of reservation itself. Whether the reservations are good or bad. Okay. How you are supporting reservations. How you are opposing reservations. Is it clear, ma?
Sir, please repeat the first question.
That is arguments favor, arguments against the EWS reservations. Arguments
Okay,
favor,
sir.
arguments against the reservations. If I'm not wrong, it is the voice of Oindrilla. Oindrilla, no, something other name is there.
Yes, sir.
Full name, something. Naga.
Sir, Oindrila Rakshit Sarkar.
She's a god. Sorry for that. Okay. Fine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that brings us an important topic for us. So that is a very interesting topic. In fact, very essential topic also for the last few days current affair issue. This is the most interesting topic which you have to remember like anything. Now, moving further, uh, in fact, we can say last article. Not article doesn't explain you many important things, but article talks to you about an ethics point of view. That is qualities of leadership. Today, a ward member is doing extra overaction. If he becomes president of the village, he will do extraordinary overaction. If he became MLA, he is doing ultramax overaction. If he became, see, overaction is many times. They are they will behave like they are the gods of the soil and they came directly from the heaven. Okay, but this is an exemption very interestingly. That is, a minister, a president of India, the president of India, how simply she reacted to the recent issues. That is, she went to Odisha and there she started to walk as a common man, and she met her co-workers, family members, some local villagers, all these people, and even she started her meeting from the from the from this so-called cremation of Bhakta Salabhag, Bhakta Salabheg. Maybe I'm wrong in pronunciation. Bhakta Salabheg. So who is a Muslim poet, but he is having extreme respect over Lord Jagannath. Understand this coexistence. Understood? So even though uh, he is a Salabheg, so he is a Muslim poet, he had respect towards the Jagannath, Jagannath ji. Try to understand that this is very important connection. So when you are writing any article regarding communal riots in India, so you have to mention this word, communal riots in India, because of this number one issue. The issue is very simple. That is communal issue talking about I mean, how to counter communalism. That is teaching them communal tolerance. In communalism questions, you have to answer by saying that by teaching this uh, by teaching the so-called coexistence, we can counter the communalism. So we can counter the communalism by that aspects itself. That is the most important one. So by you can do that. Okay. Second thing is leadership qualities. You can say she she even integrated with people very easily. She spoke with them. She talked with them, and she got some issues. Then she went to Bangalore. We are having a good progression. Then she went to the other parts of the region. I mean, not Bangalore. She went to Delhi itself. But that part is important. That discussions are important for all of us. How she acted, how she acted is very important. How she behaved is very important for all of us, particularly in learning the spirit of living a simple life. Okay, so next important article. Next important article. I mean, as we are running out of time, we can take the article talking about UCC is very next session I will discuss about UCC. Okay, so important article we do have. Okay, so we do have groundwater management. We do have so the issues right now. India last week conducted Water Week. Almost good number of articles talking about water conservation. Why water is important, particularly why groundwater is important. Why water is important? Because India consists of 1 point, let us say 3 billion people, which is amounts to 18% of global population. So this 18% of global population exists in India, but we do have only 4% of water resource. 4% of water resource. As I repeat again, India consists of 18% of people, but it consists only 4% of water, and that too, this 4% located in like ice, okay, ice and some inland waterways like that. It was existed. So, like water, everything you can see this. But however, what is further interesting is groundwater playing an important role in India. Around 80% of the urban industries need met by groundwater itself. Further, 50% of our agriculture even depend on groundwater. 60% of village people dependent on groundwater. Okay, so that is how groundwater is important. So in this aspect, we have some articles talking about groundwater conservation. So just remember these points, quite essential and quite important also. Plus, okay, look at them. So again, I repeat that Indonesia had some project like a recent project. Okay, Indonesia and Myanmar had some issues. Sorry, Myanmar and Indonesia also having some issues. All these countries are having water issues. Not only these two countries, my dear. China and even Kazakhstan having water issue. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu having water issue. Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu having water issue. Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka having water issue. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana having water issue. West Bengal and Bangladesh having water issue. Every country is taking water issues are there. Every state also somehow directly or indirectly involving water issues itself. So what is important is to resolve these issues, we need to conserve the groundwater because the other waters are dependent on the rain, but groundwater dependent on people's action, how they are extracting, how they are doing all these things. So I request you a home task, that is work out on measures for the protection of groundwater. Will you do that? Will you do this exercise?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Please do that. You will
So
get
can
the
I repeat that one, the data for the groundwater just you told?
sure. I will repeat it. Okay. The repetition is 80% of the village, 80% of the rural, 80% of the rural demands met by groundwater. 80% of the rural demands, water demands. Next, 50% of urban needs and even industries. 50% of urban needs and even industries met by the groundwater. 50% of the needs, 50% of the needs are met by groundwater itself. Okay, 50% of the needs met by groundwater itself. Further, we should also remember that further two thirds of agriculture dependent on groundwater.
So what's that? Two thoughts.
Two by three,
Okay.
two third majority, two by three or two third of agriculture depends on this again groundwater. Okay, so please do have attention, work out on the issues, right? So in today's session, we discussed stubble burning and the institutional failure. We even discussed about Tolu Bommalata or Togalu Bommalata. We discussed about collegium system and why we should raise the judges' age. Then we should also discuss about this new act, sorry, Punjab, Andaman Nicobar diversion of forest, and also EWS reservations, and also groundwater issues. Finally, I would like to tell you there are some regions in news. Please locate them in your atlas. There are some regions in news. Please locate them in atlas. Okay. So particularly, we have to Iran, Iran, locate Indonesia because of G20 meeting. Look at all the ASEAN countries because of ASEAN meeting. Look at all the ASEAN countries because of ASEAN meeting. Okay. Look at China and Taiwan. locate China and Taiwan, and your administration contact. I mean, I approached your administration to give me an opportunity to teach international relations. Okay, we will enjoy like anything, but they have to give me a confirmation. Let us wait and watch whether they will give me or other faculty will be recruited. Let us wait and watch. Okay, so China, Taiwan, please locate the locations. Okay, and next you should also locate Myanmar because of its military role. Will you do that? Locating all these things,
Yes, sir.
please do that. Fine. So it's time to say good night for you all people. I'm very happy to be with you again.
Sir,
I
I have
hope
a question.
Swati, yes.
Sir, while you were mentioning about this conclusion, um, coming from Supreme Court, 5:3:2. What was that, sir?
Try to understand. For every judgment, they will take opinion of all the judges. That is, uh, they will try to see. Let us say in the five judges, if three people said one, if three people take one decision, that is majority judgment. If two people said some other things, it is minority thing. So 5 in 5, 3:2 means if 3 is the majority opinion to continue the EWS reservation. 2 is the minority one, which is says no for it. Sometimes it can be equal also. At that time, Supreme Court of Chief Justice of India will try to work out on it. So here it is. Firstly, it is almost dominated by three people. Later, Raju, but sorry. So later we have CJ also added on the negative side, on opposing side. Okay. So 3:2 is nothing but ratio of the judges who is supporting and opposing the arguments. Clear? Swati?
Yes, sir.
Right? Swati, you are from Midnapur? Not Midnapur.
I'm from Kolkata itself, sir.
Kolkata itself. Fine, fine. Good. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Uh,
Kaushal.
yes, sir. Sir, I have one question. Sir, recently Supreme Court delivered that split verdict on the ban of wearing hijab in educational institution, right, sir?
Uh, uh,
So
uh.
it was like a split verdict because there were
It is it is a it is a two judges
two
bench in
judges bench,
one.
and
So
both of them delivered a contradicting
mm, mm,
statement on
mm,
that.
mm,
So
mm.
what is going to happen in future? Like,
They will go for review petition itself.
okay, okay,
Article 137 is there, no? Review petition on Supreme Court judgments. They will go for the review petition again. Let us wait
okay.
and watch. But absolutely, that is not going to give anything. Whether it is wearing the hijab or not wearing the hijab, okay. It is a wasting time and resources of public. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because if they want to fight really for the women issues, they should fight for the rise of literacy rate in women, Muslim women. They should fight for the rise of employment level in the Muslim women. They don't fight for these things. Okay. Of course, even
Yes.
in Hinduism also there are some discriminations. But the thing is, it is not about religion. It is one has to respect the woman. That is where it is missing. Unfortunate. Right? Nargis, Sultana, Shekharji, Swati, and Joy, Kaushal, Abul, and recent Rakshit Sarkar. These are the people who will talk to me. I think last time I talked to Saraswati also. Saraswati, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Saraswati. I remember only few people. If I forgot anyone, please remember me. Please remind me. I think there is one more girl. Nargis, did I say your name?
Yes, sir.
There is one more girl, my dear. She talked to me once only, not twice. Tahsin, Tahsin. Are you there, Tahsin?
Yes, sir.
Right, right. So these are the people who will talk to me so I can remember you. Remaining persons, you can talk to me. Today I met with Abul Kalam. So you can talk to me, whoever are there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Abul Kalam, you talk to me. Anyone want to talk to me? So that I can remember you next time I will say your name. No one is interested. Okay.
नहीं sir, बोलिए.
Hey, geez. What's the good name?
Sir, Mrigank.
Nigank. Nice name.
Thank you, sir.
What do you mean by that?
It's mean moon, sir. और इसका
So,
एक और गहरा मीनिंग है सर.
okay. So, whenever I want to see moon, I should call you. Hey, Mirgang, come here, like that.
हाँ सर, बोले. ठीक है.
Okay. So, there is a famous song in my village. No, Chandamama Rave, Jabili Rave,
हाँ सर.
Rave, Koti Pulu Teve. So now I can call you Mirgang Rave.
Okay, sir.
Like that, right?
No problem.
Okay. So nice to talk to you, Mirgang. Very happy to talk to you.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. All the best. So next, any other person where I can talk to you? I guess no one is there. Fine. So that's all for today. So happy to be with you, and soon I'm going to connect you in other formats. All the very best to you, and talk to you soon. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank
Joy
you, sir.
Ma.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Rebel Ayan. Arey yaar. I
Yes,
forgot
sir.
you. I forgot you, Rebel. Okay. Fine. Carry on. Okay, Jojo, are you there?
It's only Joy.
Okay. Okay, Joey, Jotnonin. Okay. All the best. Everyone, Jotnonin. Okay.
Jotnanin, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jotnonin.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
आपने
Sir,
जॉब
Jotno नहीं.
Jotnonin. Shubh Ratri. Maybe. Okay, bye-bye.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye,
बाय
sir.
सर.
Bye, sir.
Bye.